Hello, good friends. It's been a long time since I have taken you inside thrift stores with me as I shop. I have found some good stuff and at some of my favorite places. This thrift store is in Guntersville. All three of these actually are. And one of my first stops when I go in is to check out the linen section. I always check out the linen section because how else are you going to find a set of linen towels that have these adorable little dogs? I'm serious, they're so cute. Let's see, I think they were $1.98 or $2.98 each, but whatever they were, I thought $1.98. I thought they were worth it. And I didn't notice this in the store, but one of the towels, the dogs are facing the viewer, and the other towel, all the dogs are facing away, so you just see their backs, which is adorable. Now that handkerchief, I've never had a handkerchief, a vintage handkerchief in that color, so I added that one to my collection. And when you look through, you're going to see all kinds of things, and you're going to see things that you don't want because the best treasures are few and far between, and you've got to be willing to handle the disappointment of not finding something fabulous every time. Now there's a light blue handkerchief over there as well, but I have some in those colors, so I'm like I tell you, I'm trying to be more selective so that I don't just absolutely clog my world up with stuff that's not especially good or special. But linen things always catch my eye. Those shams were really good. I think they were big old king size shams, and I like the little raggedy edge on them. Something fell, and hey, do y'all pick stuff up that falls, or if it's already on the floor when you walk up? Do you pick it up? I do. I can't stand for something to be on the floor. So that was pretty, but I decided I didn't actually need any more of those linen shams for that price. If they had been $1 a piece, I might have gotten them just to have on hand, because I'm always making up somebody's bed somewhere in this house or in the campers. We've got our pop-up camper has 3 full beds in it, queen or full, and then my daughter Olivia and Ryan, their camper has 1, 2, 3, 4 full-size or queen-size beds in it. So that was a cute little rug, but didn't really need it. And those little swaddles, newborn baby swaddles, maybe I could have gotten them, but I think that my newborn babies are taken care of now. I don't think we needed any more swaddles. And if you can believe this or not, our little tiny newborn baby that Olivia has given birth to, she's only 6 weeks old, and she rolled over. I'm not kidding. And she did it 4 times. So it's not just a fluke that she did it. I love that dress. I did buy it. I love that it's tiered. I loved that it's solid blue. I just thought it was precious. I love to dig in the pillow, big old pillow crates. What do you call those things? I often find high quality, high-end pillows for not very much money. I think $2.98 is about the average price of pillows in there. Sometimes they're $1.98. I don't dig a long time, but I do scout some things out, and I noticed that was a matching pair there. One was trimmed out with some stripes, and the other one wasn't. That's a big old crochet looking pillow ball. And there's curtain panels in that one, I think for $1.98 each. And I have found curtain panels in there. Now, every time you go into Amazon Hope, there's one in Boaz and one in Guntersville. They're going to have one, A, B, or C will be half price on that day, and certain color tags will be 50 or 25% off. A lot of times I have to actually take a picture of what colors are on sale and what letter, because I must have the shortest attention span ever. 25 cents, that's the cheapest books. I recently did a project for Olivia's baby shower, which it was a story. Selah's story begins here, and this is where I got my books to do that project, because I found little paperback books the sizes that I wanted, and I only paid 25 cents a piece, and it took several to be able to do it, so that was the best price I could find around. And I do believe all books are 25 cents a piece. So if this is a hardback book that I wanted, I always it catches my eye when I see the ones that look like an older type of cover, but this one was 1972. I don't get them if they are younger than my birth year, which is 1967, and I generally don't get them if they're not like 1940s or older. But I make a few exceptions. They always have really big selection of mirrors right there. They always do. And they always have a lot of framed art. But I made a beeline for this basket here. Now, I have a collection of, these are called buttocks baskets, for an obvious reason. If you'll see the shape of it, it does look like the south end of a northbound something. But I've never seen one that's tall and narrow like that. That was $5.98, but I was like, yeah, I want that. That's cute. And if you need frames, there are always lots and lots of frames, and even just canvases with no frames to choose from. Now, this little bunch of flowers was just randomly lying there, $2.98, but I loved the bright colors of it, and I ended up using those out in the window boxes of my she shed. I started to put them back, and then I was like, wait a minute, that's perfect colors for what I want to do out there. And listen, I'm not good at remembering to keep things watered, especially if they're more than 1 foot from my kitchen sink. So I do better with faux things. I've been ordering some faux plants, and if they're the same price as real plants, and I get 2 or 3 seasons out of them, I'm really coming out ahead. Plus, I don't have to worry about watering them. And if you can't tell it's faux from like 10 feet away, then who cares? I realize live things are better. Now, I've been watching those. $14.98. But I think that was the letter that's half price. And they're pretty. I like them. There's a basket of eggs and a basket of lemons, but they had some kind of Latin word on there, and they're huge. I don't have a place like a big enough wall in my kitchen that I could do that. Now, I was very, very attracted to all this fabric. They don't always have this, and I loved that was a very nice linen neutral color. I do have some linen things in stock, so I thought about that. I laid it aside. I was like, man, that'd be really good to have on hand. And there was another one that was a similar neutral color, and another. Just really good basic fabrics. That looked like it was counted cross stitch kind of fabric, which I don't do counted cross stitch anymore. I have done in the past, but lots of interesting patterns, including that leopard was pretty. But oh, look at those just caught my eye. I'm not sure what you call that style of fabric, but I love the colors. I'm a colorful person. I know that it's very much in style, and look at that has dragons on it. So those have Asian looking influence. I know it's the style for lots of things to be neutral, but I gotta have a few things that are very colorful. Like if I've got neutral walls, then I'm gonna bring in colorful fabrics or colorful decor of some kind, because I can't just do plain vanilla all the time. I have to have a lot of spicy color going on in some kind of way. I like color. There were other things that were probably worth digging through, and I didn't even really notice those big rolls. Sometimes you can get a huge roll with several yards on it for about $3. But I didn't even notice those or check the price or anything. See what it was, see what the design was. All right, plasticware section, and I laughed out loud when I saw this thing. Now, what are you going to do with a big plastic shell? I don't know. If you know what somebody would have used that for, please put it in the comments so that I can be educated on why there would be such a big thing. Ooh, I spotted a little vintage thermos. I've never had a blue one. I've got a red one and a gold one, and now I got a blue one. You know, if you enjoy grouping things together and collecting them, it's an exciting time when you find a piece that you can add to your grouping. And that blue will be especially cute in my 4th of July picnic basket arrangement. I've got some other thermoses that are very vintage and very cute, and they are in patriotic colors. Now, I think every thrift store has a ton of glassware and glasses. Always, always. They have a good selection of furniture most of the time. I'm always looking for something vintage. Now, I do often pick up things that are just useful, but this caught my eye because I knew it would be Pioneer Woman when I saw it from a distance. Sure enough, Pioneer Woman. And I think they had the price on it of $12.99, not on sale. Not the letter that's on sale, I don't think. No, I think it's B. So, you know, that's less than it would be at Walmart. And it was perfect. It didn't have any chips or anything on it. And if you collect Pioneer Woman items, that would have been a fun find. I have a few Pioneer Woman things that I really love, but I don't collect or display my Pioneer Woman items. What I have, I just use. Now, I knew this was going to be ironstone. When I turned it over, I knew it would be. Sure enough, let's see. I can do this with one hand. England. And I love the pattern, but they were a little bit pricey, and I didn't see any more, just those two. And I thought, okay, I need to find where the teacups are and see if I can at least find the matching cups. But I did not find the matching cups, and I ended up putting those back because I think they were $2.98 each. Now, a saucer can be cute on its own, but I do have a lot of random saucers already, so I don't need to add more random saucers that don't have a teacup to go with them. Although you could just mix and match. A mismatched set is not unattractive. It's cute in its own way, and I've done that before for bridal showers and things like that. There's a little gravy tureen with a really pretty rose on it. I probably have 2 or 3 gravy boats. There was an M that was plastic with glitter in it. Not my style. I thought that artichoke finial was pretty. I think when I checked the price, it was more than I wanted. Oh, there I go putting those plates in my buggy, but I did end up putting those back. Let's see how much. I'm checking the price. $5.98. Wasn't worth paying $5.98. If I had caught it on a half price, I might have paid $3, but I didn't want to pay $5.98. You know, on a different day, the mood might have been different, and it might have been something that did come home with me. That's kind of the adventure of thrifting. You never know what you'll find, and I never really know what I'll come home with. They always keep miscellaneous types of silk flowers, and I do check in there to see if there's something that I really love for a good price, but only if it's something very unique or something I've been looking for. But see, that's a pretty good size bag for $3.98. Silk flowers are expensive. Okay, I found one little bunch there. I think it was $2.98, and those looked like really good fall colors. So I did get that little bunch. There were other good pieces of greenery in there, but I'm fairly well stocked on my greenery pieces, and I didn't especially need. So I resisted. $2.98. Not a bad price. Oh, this is the area, their small appliance area. This is where I found my bread maker that was $8.98, but it was the letter that was half price that day. So I paid $4.50 for a bread maker, if you could believe that. And I could tell that it was in fantastic, perfect condition. It had some dust on it, like it had, been in someone's house a long time, but it was so new and unused, it still had the plastic film over the digital panel. So I was like, I know this is going to work. Hey, I checked the flat irons now because I found a Chi for $3. I don't know if you know that brand, Chi, C-H-I. It's an expensive brand. And a lot of times I will pick up little terracotta pots to stack, and sometimes I make it look like they have aged green moss on them, but I wouldn't have paid over $1 a piece for those. So I did leave them behind, and then it's always worth looking to see what kind of interesting collections that they have, and they usually put some vintage looking items on that section of shelves, but nothing that I was interested in that day. Okay, now I spot something from across the way, and look at me making a beeline for that box. I knew I would buy it no matter what the price when I saw it from a distance. And it's a little sad that the label was half missing, but look at the graphics on the rest of it. Oh, it's got a really good logo. I just thought that was great. And I feel it was very sturdy, nice and good. Nothing was like, water damaged or anything. And I don't know how old it is, but it looked rather old. I thought the look of the wood was very aged. And I think what I'll do is I'll look on Pinterest. If you type in vintage produce labels, you can see images that you can send to Staples and have it printed out in the correct size, and I could put a new label on it if I wanted to. I mean, I've got 1,000 other projects in my head to do, so I may or may not do that soon, but you just never know. I love wood boxes for storing things in. I love wood boxes for keeping my craft supplies, for decor, just for practicality. This is the candle section, evidently. Little votive and candle warmers and candle holders, pedestal, candlesticks, lots of things. I was curious about those. I hadn't seen that shape before up on a pedestal with the hole where you can put the tea light in. I guess that's what that is. There's Waverly, a little set there. And I always check the lampshades because a good basic linen lampshade, excuse me, I hope I'm not getting a cold. I've gone lots of weeks without having a cold. I don't want to get a cold. That was a good basic one, but I already have a couple at home, so I didn't pick up that one. I didn't have an exact need for it. Sometimes you'll see really pretty light fixtures, like ceiling fixtures. I did think this was really pretty, but I have a lot of lanterns, and I did not want to pay $14.98. Just didn't. And some of my favorite lanterns, oh, I think that one's got a bird nest in it. That's cute. Or maybe it's just straw and a pine cone. But that one was too much as well. I like that it has that metal top, $12.98. My favorite lanterns that I have in my living room above my fireplace, they're on each side of my big, enormous TV screen that I don't love. But, you know, Ben lives here too, and he wants a big TV, so, you know, you have to compromise somewhere. Baskets are always worth looking through. But I already did find that good, unique shaped basket, that tall, skinny buttocks basket. They have lots of cookbooks. And I usually don't get one unless it looks vintage. Thought that was a useful looking basket, but more than I wanted to pay. I guess I could be called pretty cheap. I don't pick up everything that I like, especially if it's priced higher than I think I could find it at some other time. And that's kind of what you have to do when you're thrifting. You have to have some boundaries. You have to be selective. Like, I was willing to pay, what was that, $7 for that crate, that wood crate, but then I didn't want to pay $12 or $14.98 for those lanterns. So, you know, you can pick and choose what you're willing to pay a little more for, but you could run up quite a big bill if you just picked up everything that you think is cute, and then you've got too many things. Okay, now this was so funny to me. I chuckled out loud. What do you see about this Santa? The paint is chipped off to where it looks like he's staring at his own nose. That's what it looked like to me. That was so funny to me. I did not bring it home. It did look like it might be a little bit older, but not. I mean, my bucket list includes an authentic old winking Santa mug. And Hobby Lobby makes them now that are really, you know, vintage and nostalgic looking. So that has satisfied me. Okay, if you needed some sports themed garland and ornaments, there you go. That is not something I was looking for. And it's too soon for me to be in a Christmassy mood. I don't think I've bought anything Christmassy yet. Now those were really pretty, those candlesticks. I guess they're pewter. I was looking to see if I could tell what they were. And $2.98 is not a bad price. But I couldn't tell what that logo said. I mean, I could not tell. I don't know. So $6 for a set, which did look pewter. Maybe it's aluminum. I really don't know. And they had some wax, but if I really wanted them, that would not have deterred me. I would have just brought them home and cleaned them right up. Every now and then you'll see something unique, but most of that stuff is things that I was already seeing at Dollar Tree or Walmart, and it's not anything that I felt like would make my life exponentially better or even a little bit better. Now that was a cute stool. Why though is it so tall? I wonder what that was designed to do, like where you would need a stool that tall. It's a little too tall to put your feet on, but I guess if you just needed a little stool at a vanity maybe. I always think that the round tables with the round drawer are very handsome, and boy, that one needed a very good scrub down, and that's not really my thing. If it needs to be stripped, somebody else can be the stripper. have found several good pieces there. All right, new store. This is the Home Place thrift store, also in Guntersville. And the terracotta covered casserole or baking dish down there, I always think those look so nice, but I don't have that much cabinet space, and I am already pretty packed as far as my pots, pans, and all those kind of things. Okay, milk glass for $2. That's certainly going in my buggy. There's a garland of lemons. I did some lemon things a couple of years ago, and I have a vintage, it's a reproduction, but it's a vintage poster of citrus, and it's really pretty. That would be a good basic thing to build up your collection. $1. But I do have plenty, so here I go, walking on. Walk on, girl. There's a whole set of Pioneer Woman dishes in gold. I have the turquoise dishes like that. You just never know when you're going to see something like a mixing bowl. One time I saw on Facebook they had posted pictures of some new stock, and it had been posted for an hour. It was, look, that was so heavy. I didn't see a price on it, but that was huge, and I bet it weighed 50 pounds. It was so heavy. But one time I saw they posted a vintage mixing bowl. It had only been posted for an hour, and I really got in my vehicle and I drove, and somebody had already gotten it, and I could have cried. But it's okay, because, you know, I find other things. But you never know when something like that's just going to be sitting in there mixed up with plastic and weird things that you wouldn't want. There'll be a jewel. That was machine embroidered, I do believe. Pretty cute. Of course, you got to look for the rare quilt. I have found quilts here. That's a table runner. I thought that was pretty, but didn't bring it home. You can't bring home everything that you think is pretty. It's okay. Say to yourself when you're looking at something, if you don't just absolutely gasp when you see it, you should walk on. Just walk on. And even if you do gasp, you probably don't need everything that makes you gasp. But if I gasp, I'm probably bringing it home. I have found really cool kitchen items here in amongst the mundane, the common, and the ugly. The good, bad, and the ugly. But you don't know unless you look. And you're not going to find these things unless you're willing to just walk through and check it out. If you don't have that kind of time, then that's not probably a good pastime for your life. But I get an endorphin rush. I calm down. If I'm stressed, I can walk in a thrift store and I instantly, there's the endorphin rush gives me calmness. It calms me down. I begin to concentrate on the things I'm looking at, and then whatever was stressing me out, I'm just not thinking about it right that minute. So it's a good diversion, but you know, not a substitute for dealing with the things you need to deal with. But everybody needs a break of some kind. Look at all those men's pants. Got a lot of men, but they're all fairly picky, so I don't often look in the men's clothes. Ben, my husband, has decided he's just going to wear Columbia shirts. Just Columbia shirts. That's practically it. Besides the t-shirts that he wears to work in the yard and to do, you know, sports and rough things in. But to his office, he does not have to wear a suit and tie. Thank goodness. I don't think he could stand it if he did. But he loves the way, I forget, it's a particular lightweight kind of dry weave shirt that he loves. He loves those, and that's what he wears. I found a table and chairs here for $85, a table and 4 chairs, and I love it so much. And I bought it, and Sam and Anna have it. They're using it in their house, and I told them that if they get another set that they like better, that's fine. Just please give it back to me so that it can be mine. Because if they don't use it in their home, I would use it in my she shed, which I am working on. We're back at it. We've worked 2 weekends in a row on getting the she shed ready for enjoyment. It's serving a purpose of storage, but that wasn't the grand plan. We just got tired, and also we're paying for it as we go, and so we had to take a break on being able to buy major things for it. You know, building materials are insanely expensive, so we took a break, but now we're back at it, and I am working on a video to share with all of you of the work we've been doing. That is beautiful. I loved that, but as you can see, it's sold, and I wouldn't have had a place for it anyway. Walk on, girl. All right, the Care thrift store, also in Guntersville. I think I forgot to have them stamp my card the last time I was in here. For every $10 you spend, you get a stamp. And when you get 10 stamps, they'll give you $10 off the purchase that day, you know, when you come back with your 10 stamps on your card. But I do believe I forgot. Did I spend $10? I might not even spend $10, come to think of it, because I just found a couple of good things in here this day. But you never know. You just never know. So you got to be willing. That was a little girl's dress that I thought was very cute, but it was a bigger size than my oldest granddaughter could have used. Margaret would have been very cute in that, but the sleeves would have been too long. It was like a whole size or more bigger than what she would wear. I noticed that they moved all the children's things onto these shelves, and in the room where they used to keep toys and children's things, they have converted it to a holiday room. Here we go. They have Christmas, Halloween, and fall things in here. I think thrifting is a good way to build a collection of seasonal decor. Those were just the lightweight ones, but that one had a boogered up place on it, and this one had lots of dents. So I did pass on those. Lots of Halloween costumes and decor. I don't actually decorate for Halloween. I just don't do spooky. I don't know why. I just don't. I just don't love it. There was a Santa back there, but he didn't look particularly old, so I passed. That was a big set of ceramic plates there, which I use the Better Homes and Gardens. Oh, forget the name of that pattern. I thought those bottle brush trees were cute up there, but I've got several of those, so I didn't pursue that. And the first time I looked at this shelf, I did not focus on that little fall leaves greenery down there. I did check to see if that was ceramic, and it is. It was very heavy. $4. Kind of unique. Half painted and half speckled. But that was only $1, so I did pick that up. I love that it had these big acorns on it, and I love that the leaves were nice rich colors, and they were thick. Like there's a lot of, it's a short little piece of garland, but there's a lot of leaves for the size it is, and I thought that was pretty enough. I've got it over on my piano right now. I'm also working on a decorate with me for fall, which, okay, I realize other people may have been decorating for fall an entire month ago or before that, but I don't love to do things very far ahead of time, and I don't want to skip seasons. I don't want to skip Thanksgiving and go straight to Christmas. So I'm still fully enjoying gathering up and gradually decorating for the fall season, because I don't know about where you live, but where I live, it's still hot as everything. It's still nearly 80 degrees most of the time, and that does not feel like fall. So, you know, for me to have fall decor in my home is pushing it. But I don't want to skip fall. I love fall. Small appliances, tools, sporting items, speakers. Miscellaneous household things, and an antiques sign. Well, you know I had to pick that up. The piece of wood itself is worth having, even if I didn't want to keep the word antiques on it. The fact that it had that really good hanger on it, and the fact that it actually said antiques, which I think is very, very cute. I think I'll probably want to use that in my she sheds them at some point. I'm gonna quit saying she shed, because I'm not I don't want to make people sick of hearing me talk about it, and the video's not ready yet, but I'm getting ready. We're working on the outside, finishing the outside, and then we're going to have to literally take most of my stuff out of it in order to do the interior walls. Yeah, that's not going to be fun, but we got to do it. I mean, it has to be done, and it's too full of things in order to work in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to spread out. We bought some pallets, wood pallets. We're going to make a grid of pallets, like 9 pallets, 3 by 3. And then I'm going to bring my storage tubs. I've got a bunch of Rubbermaid tubs, and I'm going to stack those on the 3 by 3 grid of pallets. And then I'm going to cover it with a ginormous tarp, so that for the days or weeks that we have to be working on the inside, we can, my things can be protected from the elements. 50 cents each for candles. That's a good price. And I can always use some federal shaped candles. I love that shape better than the taper candles. And those gold cream colored candles, I want you to look at the price tag on it. It literally, maybe I'll show it. Yep. Eckerd. I mean, how long has Eckerd Drugs been out of business? I don't even know the last time I thought about Eckerd Drugs. So those have been laying in some lady's drawer for a long time, decades maybe. This is the store where I found the wooden pig-shaped cutting board. That was a holler out loud moment, because I've always wanted a pig cutting board, and there it was, and it was just $1. Oh, only other thrifters can understand the excitement of finding something that's on your bucket list, your thrift bucket list, and you find it and it's just $1. Are you kidding me? Oh, the antique sign did not have a price on it, but when I took it up to the counter, they had to go ask the girl in the back who was doing the pricing. She had forgotten to price it, and she said, "How about $4?" And I was glad to pay $4. Those bottles, those tall bottles that look kind of like an old milk bottle, that's what I put when we make homemade ranch dressing. That's what I put my ranch dressing in. And I've got some big corks that sometimes I use the cork to stop up the top, you know, to keep it fresh. Or sometimes I just put a little bit of aluminum foil over it. Checking for vintage thermoses. You know I must. Lots of glassware. Do not need any glassware. Lots of dishes. Lots of serving pieces. Their stock turns over pretty quickly in this little shop. So I feel like when I go in there, it's an exciting, fresh shop because, like I say, they price it well enough that it moves quickly, and they're getting regular donations. They have another store, this same company, the Care thrift store. They have another one in New Hope that is right by the elementary school. Now, my daughter teaches 3rd grade at New Hope Elementary. So sometimes when I'm going to pick up her boys, I'll go a little early so I can go to that thrift store because it's probably 4 times as big as this thrift store. It's the same people, but it's just a bigger one. Now, I had to come see, but I couldn't see a price on it. That is Snap the Whip, that print back there. And I couldn't tiptoe high enough or put my arm up high enough to get a good picture of it. But I have that print and I love it very much. I love that sort of vintage art. Big selection of cushions if you needed. And I didn't see anything especially catchy, eye-catching. But this is where I found the Waverly fabric, that deep red fabric that has the quails or pheasants. I think it's quails on it. Anyway, gorgeous. And I spotted that this had crochet on that. It's a pillow cover, but it's like a bed pillow size, which would have been fine if you wanted it, but I didn't especially need or think of a place to use blue. But there, I've got it opened up. It's very pretty. And I don't know. It's a pretty cheap price for a lot of time spent if it's been hand done. I don't know if a machine can do that. I guess it can, but it looked hand done to me. Craft supplies are always worth looking through. Oh, this is where I found that wooden carousel of specialty scissors that have all the different shapes on it. And they have auction items. Okay, here I am at home with all my goodies that I found. Thrifting 3 different shops. Look how cute the dogs are. And do you see what I'm talking about? The dogs that are turned the other way on the other towel, except that one dog. And on the on the towel where everybody else is facing, that one dog is turned backwards looking over its shoulder. Why is that so cute to me? I don't know. I guess I just love doggies. And there's my pretty fabric. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. Probably just make pillow covers. That dragon stuff is dramatic. Not sure what I'll do with that. And let's once again appreciate that beautiful china cabinet, table, and chairs were gifted to me by a friend. All right, I'm going to throw these in as well. Sunday afternoon, I ran in the Goodwill in Boaz and found a few very cute things. That thing is so heavy. That thing was cute. And I love that it had birds and eggs and the nest. I thought that was very cute. And I didn't love the inside, but I loved the frame so much. I knew I would do something. So my next Thrift Flips video, you're going to see what I do to that. And you'll be surprised. Thank you for spending 46 minutes looking at things with me. I pray that you all are blessed and that your life is good and that you enjoy your thrifting.